Hello, everybody. How are you? I hope that all of you are doing just fine. And know that all of you are really, really busy with reports and with all the materials and all the teachers wanting from you to do something for them. And this is the end of the year, and it's going to be a busy while for you. So tough it up, and I hope that all of you finish with great marks and mm, pass through to the next stage. Now, before we begin our uh, lecture today, I would like to talk about a very common mistake that I have seen in the videos you have sent to me. This mistake being that all of you, let's say 90% of you, when you are explaining a grammatical rule to the students, let's say you are explaining the present simple, okay? You Of course, the first step is to tell them when do we use the present simple. We use the present simple to talk about facts and daily habits. Okay? This is correct. Then you give the rule, which is very, very wrong. You should never provide the rule for the students first. Okay? You are not required to immediately give the rule to the students, and he is going to sit and ponder whether se means the s means subject, what is the subject, what should the subject be, and so on. Auxiliary, what is an auxiliary, what are the auxiliaries in English language? I am going to tell you from now they all forget them. Each year you will have to remind them of these things. They will have to wonder what is a verb, what is ed, and so on. Okay? So, no, first of all, you provide them with enough examples, at least 5 to 6 examples about the present simple. You say that I like apples, I have a mobile phone, I hate chicken, and so on. I learn English. All of these are examples which will make the grammatical rule much, much more easier. Then you show them a specific video or pictures about present simple. For example, someone who is wearing a safety equipment. We say he is, or I wear safety equipment. I wear safety equipment for work. A picture of a worker that is wearing a helmet and gloves and so on. You tell them, I am a doctor. You show them a picture of a doctor. Then, after these many examples, you give the grammatical rule. He, the student, after discussing with his mates, will find out that when you have above shown him these examples, they all follow the same rule that you have provided to them below. This rule being subject plus auxiliary or verb plus complement. He will see that the first thing in each of these sentences, Ahmed is I, you, they, he, she, it. He would know that this first thing is the subject. Plus auxiliary, he is going to see is, am, are. Okay, plus complement, which is an adjective. He is going to analyze that. He is going to be able to see that after you have given him enough example. Not you give him the rule and the examples, he would be confused and unable to study, to concentrate well, and he will bury you with the questions. What is this? What is that? And so on. Okay, this is one. Number two, when you are explaining a passage, after reading it, which is something that you should not do, you should allow the students to read the passage for you. Whenever they make mistakes, you correct these mistakes. Okay, because if you read the passage and you then make the students read the passage, you will waste so much time. No, let the students, each one of them, read first line, second line, and so on. You will engage most of the students inside with reading the passage, then you have to explain the new words. Most of you, 95% of you that sent me videos that related to passage, they did not explain the meaning of new words. How are the students going to know these words? How on earth are they going to uh, postulate the meaning of these words? They are going to imagine it? No, this is your job as a teacher to what? To provide the meaning of these new words. You have to show them pictures of them, not give them in Arabic. I have talked about this many times, so please don't forget this next time. Overall, most of you are going to be great teachers. You have provided excellent videos and shown great capabilities with teaching English. So there's no fear on your future. Now, let's begin with our lecture. I know that this introduction has been long, but some of these things are really important for you in the future. Please don't disappoint me when you are going to teach and forget what I have said to you on this day. Okay, now let's begin. Active learning. Now, what is active learning? Active learning refers to the techniques where students do more than simply listen to a lecture. Students are doing something including discovering, processing, and applying information. Okay? This is very important. Now, most of the typical teaching environments, the teacher talks, the students listen. Maybe the best possible thing that the teacher can say, give me examples. This is the best thing that he is proud of doing. No. Learning is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be about the students, not the teacher. The students are the center of discussion, sorry. They need to discover, just like I told you with the grammatical rules. When you give them the grammatical rules, they will discover and link between the examples and the grammatical process. They will create sentences, process information, apply what they have learned in actual communicative environment. You provide them with this environment, with this free space for them to communicate using English. Apply what they have learned, not just this is what we have, you gave me examples, okay, you have understood it, let's move on. This is very wrong, you should not do it. Moving on. Active learning refers to the idea that students are actively engaged in the learning process. Actively engaged in the learning process, rather than passively absorbing lectures, only absorbing like a sponge, and that's it. Active learning involves discussion, problem solving, presentations, group work, brainstorming, role plays, debates, anything that gets students interacting with each other and engaging with the lecture material. Okay, you know, you are not only the speaker, they have to actively participate. All of these things I hope that you do in the future when you teach your students. I really hope that you do so. Assumptions. What are the assumptions for active learning? Active learning derives from two basic assumptions: that learning is by nature an active endeavor. Okay? Now, most of us, when we got our first smart mobile phone, we did not know immediately what to do with it. We did what? We used something that we call trial and error. We learned by actively engaging with our mobile phones, trying to write a comment, watch a YouTube video, and so on. Us trying to learn. We learned actively by doing something on the phone. We made mistakes, we corrected those mistakes, and so on. This is what things should be inside the classroom. And different people learn in different ways. Not all of us learn by listening. Not all of us learn by visually seeing something. Not all of us learn by kinesthetically doing something inside the lecture. All of these things should be present inside the classroom so that it does not become boring, and it does not make it caters to all students learning. It caters to all students learning styles. The second assumption, that applied and what is this, participative, there has been a glitch, participative methods are more likely to encourage deeper processes of learning. Okay, the students are participating in the learning environment. They would be encouraged. Why? Because they will not be shy. They are talking continuously. They are no longer afraid of making mistakes, and so on. So many other benefits that will boost their self esteem. Elements of active learning. The elements of active learning are talking, listening, writing, reading, and reflecting. Students are involved in more than listening. Less emphasis is placed on transmitting information. You are not required to be a transmitter. You only give and you don't receive. No, you have to receive what the students are learning, and more on developing student skills. We talked about this extensively. Students are involved in higher order thinking, analysis, synthesis, evaluation. Students are engaged in activities like reading, discussing, so on. And greater emphasis is placed on students' exploration of their own attitudes and values. They will have to explore the material. You have a reading passage, make the students, each group, give you 5 new words that they have spotted inside this passage. Okay? And so on. Goals of active learning: develop communicative skills, develop collaborative or collaboration skills, encourage students to take responsibility for their own learning, practice creating shared meaning. Okay, what do these mean? Communicative skills, we know this. Collaboration, they will learn how to talk to each other, how to listen to each other's opinions, how to appreciate each other's, how to cope with someone making a mistake, and they will have to take the fall for it as a group, and so many other things that will develop their personality. To take responsibility for their own learning, they are responsible for what they are learning. They are actively doing something to better their learning. Practice creating shared meaning, they will, and so on. Deep approach to learning. Why? Active learning offers a deep approach to learning, contrary to the typical traditional teaching. Why? Because typical traditional teaching, the students are only, or students only want to pass the exam, as you do here. You only ask me about your marks, you don't ask about learning, what we have learned, why is this. Some of you do, which I really appreciate, but most of us, we are limited to this thinking. This material, I study it, I pass, I forget it, I delete it from my mind. You are only required to regurgitate, if you know the meaning of this word, regurgitate information and pass it on a paper, and you may pass and fail. That is a traditional, unrequired, and desired approach to learning. We want deep approach to learning, which is that is characterized by a genuine interest in the subject, which motivates students to digest, ponder, and interpret information, okay? And crucially, to make integrative links with what they already know and what they are learning in other areas. Active learning methods are more likely to encourage this. Why? Because we want the students to be interested in the learning environment. Why do I tell you to take their interest into consideration? Because if you do take their interest into consideration, they will like your lesson, they will be interested in learning. Some of you are interested in being great teachers, so they always ask me, what should I do in such situation? What should I do in such situation? And so on. Why? Because they are interested in learning. They are interested in becoming great teachers and making so much money in the future. Challenges. Of course, there are some challenges to active learning. The most important or the paramount uh, challenge to active learning is students' acceptance. There are some challenges that may face the teacher one of them, not one of them being not always easy to start. Some of you, some of the students will hate active learning because it gets them out of their comfort zone, which is being passive. They are passively listening to you and not doing anything. We all like doing nothing, so the students do so enjoy doing nothing. No, of course they will be resistant to learning. Uh, they will be angry. They will tell you that you are not doing good job. No, keep at it, and you will see that how the students develop and become better and better throughout doing it. There may be some resistance to active learning by students who are accustomed to lectures, students who prefer passive learning. So many of you, when I tell them to make a video, no, the fear is not that they are religiously bound and so on. No, this is nonsense. I know it. I know that the actual reason is that they don't want to show their abilities as a teacher. They are shy and they are afraid of being wrong. They are not confident in themselves to present a lesson in front to their teacher or in front of another's, which is something that I do not encourage. So when someone tells me that they don't want to make a video or to make a certain ex- presentation, it is because they are afraid, they are shy, and they don't believe in themselves as teachers. Okay, so they take the easy route. I want to make a report, which is only copy, paste, and so on. Okay, I accept that. This is the way things are. How to successfully implement active learning. This is the gist of our lesson. This is the gist of our lecture. This is what you want to know. First of all, the lesson has to have a high degree of students' participation and interaction. A clear structure which enables students to identify key points and make integrative links with other areas of the course. Okay, you make a good lesson plan that allows the students to do this, and this. The passion and enthusiasm of the lecturer and the degree to which he can bring a subject to life. Okay, you are enthusiastic enough, you have passion about teaching students, you are not lazy, the students will like you because they will get your vibes. You are sending positive vibes, they will get these positive vibes. A good lecture includes regular breaks. You have to give them a minute, laugh, tell a joke, and something so that they don't feel bored. Active learning group activities. This is what we talked about in presentation. Anything that gets students involved and thinking for themselves. Students also like to be given encouraging feedback. Okay, you have to always encourage your students. You are great students. You have done a good well. You have good well. What is this? You have done well. This is great. You did very well, but you made some mistakes. You don't just no wrong. No, this is incorrect. No, this is not good. This will let them down. They have finally got it together and were brave enough to raise their hands and talk inside the lesson and give you their opinion or read about something. You should not disappoint them and tell them that they are wrong. You should encourage them and tell them great effort, good job, but you made these mistakes, we can do it. He will feel that he has done so many good things and there are something that he can work on. If you just tell him that you did not good, you are not good, and so on, you will let them down and they will think this lesson is very hard, I will not try again. I tried once, I failed, I should not be embarrassed anymore. Encouraging on their thoughts and reflection, which in turn help to stimulate their desire to learn more and communicate their ideas more effectively. Breaking the lecture up with activities is also considered a good way of avoiding the decline in attention levels that tends to develop as the lecture proceeds. Each 5 minutes, you should present a new activity for the students or present something new for the student. Each 5 minutes, the attention of a student is not more than 4 to 5 minutes. So, first 5 minutes, let's say presentation, second 5 minutes doing something active, listening 5 minutes, watching, and so on. Okay? Active learning strategies, these things that you will have to read about more. I did not want to include them inside the pamphlet, so that does not enlarge the material anymore. Think, pair, share. They will have to think, then pair with a friend, then share with the group. Collaborative learning groups, student-led review sessions. They will have to review what they have learned. Games, analysis or reactions to videos. What do you think of this video? What have we seen? Tell me what did you see, and so on. Student debates, student-generated exam questions, mini research proposals or projects, class research. This is something, symposium, this is something that is very difficult. Analyze case studies, keeping journals or logs, write and produce newsletters. This is everything we have with this material. Thank you very much for being great students and have a good day. Inshallah, all of you pass the final exam and have great marks. Goodbye.